Think about the last time you apologized. Not for something wrong you did. For something that was not your fault. For existing. For taking space. For having a different opinion. You said "I'm sorry" before you even knew what you were sorry for. Now think about the most powerful person you know. When was the last time you heard them apologize? If you are honest, never. Not because they are perfect. Not because they never make mistakes. Because they understand something about apology that you have never been taught. The hidden cost of apology. Every apology does two things. First, it acknowledges wrongdoing. Second, and this is the one no one sees, it lowers your status. When you apologize, you are communicating something beyond the words. You are communicating that you are beneath the person you are apologizing to. That they have the right to judge you. That you need their forgiveness. And forgiveness is not free. It is a debt you now owe. The wealthy inversion, the ultra-wealthy do not apologize because they do not seek forgiveness. They do not need you to feel better about what happened. They need the situation resolved. Apology is emotional. Resolution is practical. They choose resolution every time. What they say instead, the first alternative. Instead of "I'm sorry I'm late," they say, "Thank you for waiting." Notice the difference. The apology makes you the victim. It centers your discomfort. It places them below you. The thank you centers their awareness of your time, but it does not lower their status. It raises yours while keeping theirs intact. They are not sorry, they are grateful. And gratitude comes from equal ground. Apology comes from below. The second alternative. Instead of "I'm sorry I made a mistake," they say, "That was incorrect. Here is the correction." No emotional weight. No begging for understanding. No performance of remorse. Just a statement of fact, followed by a solution. The apology makes the mistake about feelings. The wealthy make the mistake about data. Feelings require forgiveness. Data requires adjustment. Which one sounds like power? The third alternative. The master move. Instead of "I'm sorry if I offended you," they say nothing. Wait. Not silence as absence. Silence as statement. When someone is offended by a fact, by a decision, by a boundary you set, apologizing would mean agreeing that their offense is your problem. The wealthy do not manage your emotions, they manage their decisions. If your feelings are hurt by a truth, that is your invitation to grow, not their invitation to kneel. The paradox of the apology addict. Here is what the poor and the anxious do not understand. The more you apologize, the more you create situations that require apology. Because constant apology signals that you are someone who makes mistakes, someone who is late, someone who offends, someone who needs forgiveness. You become the identity you perform. The wealthy never apologize, not because they are arrogant, because they refuse to perform the identity of the apologizer. What research actually shows? Studies on workplace dynamics found something disturbing. Executives who apologize less were rated as more competent, not less liked, more trusted. Because frequent apology signals uncertainty, and uncertainty signals incompetence. The ultra-wealthy are not loved. They are trusted to deliver. There is a difference. The mechanism beneath the mechanism. Why does apology feel necessary to you? Because you were trained. From childhood. Say you're sorry, before you understood what you did, before anyone explained why. You learned that apology is the fast path to ending conflict, to regaining approval, to being allowed back into the group. The wealthy never learned this, or they unlearned it, because they do not need your approval to survive. They need your respect to lead. And respect does not come from apology. It comes from accountability without groveling. The distinction they understand perfectly. Accountability says, "I did that. Here is what I am doing about it." Apology says, "I feel bad. Please feel bad for me. Please forgive me." One is action, one is performance. The ultra-wealthy are accountable. They are not sorry. What they say when something goes wrong. The exact script. Watch this carefully. When a wealthy person's business fails, when their investment loses money, when their decision hurts someone, they do not say, "I'm so sorry, please forgive me." They say, "That outcome was unacceptable. Here is what I am learning. Here is what changes now." No emotional appeal, no status lowering, no debt created. Just assessment, learning, action. And the world respects this more than any apology. The exception that proves the rule. The ultra-wealthy do apologize, but only when two conditions are met. First, they genuinely wronged someone, not offended, wronged. There is a difference. Second, the apology serves a strategic purpose. It rebuilds a bridge they need. It closes a chapter. Notice, never for comfort, never for performance, never to make someone feel better about a bruised ego. Only for strategy, only when necessary, only from equal or higher ground. The fourth alternative, the relationship saver. Instead of, "I'm sorry I hurt you," they say, "I see the impact of my action. What would repair this?" This is not apology. This is problem solving. You acknowledge the effect. You do not beg for absolution. You ask what solution looks like. And here is the inversion. You are now in control of the repair, not the person who was hurt. They are telling you what they need. You are deciding whether to provide it. That is not apology. That is power. Why your apologies make people respect you less. Let me be direct with you. Every time you apologize for something small, for being 5 minutes late, for having a different opinion, for asking for what you deserve, you are training people to see you as someone who owes them. And people treat debtors differently than they treat leaders. The wealthy are not debtors. They are not begging for your good opinion. They are offering value, and value does not apologize for existing. The specific application for your life. Here is the practical instruction. For the next 30 days, remove the phrase "I'm sorry" from your vocabulary. Replace it with one of 4 alternatives. Alternative 1. Thank you instead of apology. Thank you for waiting, not "sorry I'm late." Alternative 2. Correction instead of apology. That was incorrect. Here is the fix. Not "sorry I made a mistake." Alternative 3. Silence instead of apology. When someone is offended by a truth you spoke, say nothing. Let them sit with their offense. Alternative 4. Repair instead of apology. I see the impact. What would fix this? Not, "I'm sorry, please forgive me." What will happen when you do this? Some people will be confused. They are used to your apology. They expect your status to lower. Do not explain. Do not go back. Other people will respect you more. Not because you are colder, because you are clearer. And the third group will reveal themselves. The ones who need you to apologize, who need you beneath them. Those people are not your allies. They are your handlers. Now you know. The paradox of the powerful response. Here is what the ultra-wealthy know that you have never been told. An apology asked for is not an apology. It is a demand. When someone demands that you apologize, they are not seeking repair. They are seeking submission. The wealthy never submit to demands for apology. They might offer repair. They might acknowledge impact. They might change behavior. But they will not perform remorse on command. Because performance of remorse is performance of inferiority. And they do not perform inferiority to anyone. The universal truth they never teach. No amount of apology will make the right person forgive you for the wrong thing. And no lack of apology will make the wrong person stay angry at the right thing. Most apologies are not for the other person. They are for you. To relieve your anxiety, to end your discomfort, to restore your approval. The wealthy do not need you to approve of them. They need you to understand them. Approval is emotional. Understanding is factual. Facts do not require forgiveness. The question you must answer: how many times this week did you apologize for something that was not your fault? How many times did you lower your status to make someone else comfortable? How many times did you perform remorse when what was needed was action? That is not a rhetorical question. That is the mirror. One thing remains. You cannot stop being human. You will feel the urge to apologize. You were trained to. But you can stop obeying the urge. Next time you feel "I'm sorry" rising in your throat, pause. Ask yourself, am I wrong or am I uncomfortable? If you are wrong, offer correction, not apology. If you are uncomfortable, do not make it their problem. The wealthy understand something you are only learning now. Apology is not connection. It is submission dressed as kindness. And kindness from below is not kindness. It is survival. You do not need to survive anymore. You need to lead. And leaders do not apologize for leading. Comment accountable. Write accountable in the comments if you are removing "I'm sorry" from your vocabulary for the next 30 days. Subscribe. Not because you owe me, because you choose to. Next video. The one sentence that makes powerful people listen to you immediately. You will never be ignored again.